So far we learned how to insert, update, and delete information. So now let's move on how to select the information that we need. Select statements is using the existing data. Since we already played with the data a little bit by updating the information, before we move on, I want to reset all the test data. So later on the course website, I will upload this text file, load data 5 tables text file, and in this text file, not only create table statements are given here. Actually, I'm going to insert all the test data for all 5 tables. So if you rerun these statements whenever needed, you can clean up all the data and tables at the same time. So I will just copy everything, this load data 5 tables, and I will go to database and under SQL, not this select statements, but if I paste it. So as you can see, after you create tables, drop table and then create table, and then we insert all the test data here. So I will click go. So I cleaned up all the data, particularly for vendors. Now again, there is 11 vendor and the product. You can see original price has been recovered. So given this clean data set, let's move on. What kind of SQL select statements we can develop. The first one, let's start with the easiest one. List all data in a table. So report all data in the product tables. We already know that there is 16 products. So how can we list all the products with all the columns like this? Here in your Visual Studio Code, let's start with so the statements you need is select statements. So let me write down select. So we are selecting information and followed by some columns. In this case, we want to include all the columns. Therefore, you have the keyword star. Star means everything. And we want to select everything from where? Product tables. So we have to specify the table name. So here after star, from which table? Product table. Again, additional space or line space will be ignored. So if you type everything in one line, it doesn't matter. But here I just changed the line for you guys to easily read this. That's it. So let's close this with a semicolon. So let's test this. Select everything star from product table. Go back to your database and let's run it. So go to SQL and actually it's already given there, but anyway, select star from product. Let's click go. And then we can see here all the tables, 16 tables are showed up with the columns. Now let's move on to next question. In this case, instead of all the columns, still we want to show all the products, 16 products, but we specify the columns. So kind of vertical slice. It is called projection. And here we want to see only product code and the P quantity on hand, the QOH. So how can we do this? In SQL, similarly, we can type select, but instead of star, now we need to specify the column. So let's double check what is the columns. So here, P code and P quantity on hand. So let's type P code and Q quantity on hand instead of star. So P code and separate by comma P quantity on hand QOH. Next line, from which table? Product table. That's it. So let's run this in your database, SQL, and here click go. And you can see not all the columns, only those 2 columns will be shown, but still we have a total 16 products. Next question. get all products with a price less than 50. So in that case, in terms of columns, we want to show all the columns. But now we have some conditions based on the product price, and we want to show only those products whose prices are less than 50. So in other words, it's a kind of a horizontal slice of the whole data set using some conditions. So how can we develop this? So here, let's start with again select statements. Now, in terms of column, we want to show everything. So star from product table, but not all the product, but we have some conditions. Do you remember how can we add conditions? In the previous update and delete statements condition, we use where. Similarly, in select statements, we can use where. And what's the column? P price. The value of P price is here less than 50. So can we use mathematical formula like here less than? Yes, and 50. So here if you copy and in your database, go back to SQL and you can run, and then out of 16 products, you can see only 11 products whose prices are less than 50. And if you skim over those price information, all those prices are less than 50. This kind of vertical slice is called restriction. So when you add some conditions, note that we could use a comparison operator equal to, less than equal to, greater than equal to. And also greater than, less than together, this means not equal to. So using comparison operator, you can make many useful constraints or conditions in addition to select statements. Now let's combine both projection and restriction. So in this example, list the products code, description, price, where price is less than 50. So the condition about price is the same, but we want to show only P code, P descript, and P price. So slightly modify here the original select statements. Instead of star, what are three columns here? P code, P descript, P price. So let's type it. P code, comma, P descript, and P price. Only three columns we want to show. So this is a kind of a mix of projection and slice. So here, let's go to SQL, paste it, click go. Now same 11 products, but now you show only three columns. Therefore, it is a mix of projection and restriction. Not only just one condition, sometimes you can combine multiple conditions. Using and or as a keyword, you can create some logical expressions with multiple conditions. So in this case, find all products where the price is greater than or equal to 100 and the on-hand inventory is less than 10. So we are going to apply these two conditions step by step to figure out what happens. How can we choose those data? So let's start with the first condition. Price is greater than or equal to 100. I strongly recommend when you run SQL, it is a good idea to skim over actual data, actual tables. And before you write down SQL statements, try to get the result manually. And doing this can give you some ideas how to write down the statements, SQL statements. So here in this example, there are 16 products. And what's the condition? Price is greater than or equal to 100. Then I may check price and greater than or equal to 100. Even I may count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if I apply the condition price is greater than 100, I may get this, 1, 2, 3, 4 product information. So try to get the answer by looking at the data, and then you will see how you can write down SQL statements. So here, exactly what you have done, select, and then don't worry about column yet, everything from product. And how did you choose 4 products? By applying some conditions. What was the condition? We look at which column, P price, and we choose only those products where prices are greater than, and then let me check the condition, or equal to, so equal to 100. And before you run this statement, you should know, you actually already expect the answer, how many products will be retrieved. You know there will be 4 products. So let's see whether your expectation is correct. So if I run this SQL, and if I click go, as I have expected, I could find these 4 products. So like this, move step by step, because later you are going to make very complex SQL statements. If you try to eat just one big pie, you will never eat it. But if you move step by step, actually that is the easiest way to get this answer, correct SQL statements with no problem. So now we have this result for products, but it's not final result. But if you look at this, and then on-hand inventory is less than 10. So among those products, on-hand inventory is less than 10. So actually we are looking for the first 2 products. So we need to check this quantity on hand among these 4 products, whether they are less than 10. So you know that there will be 2 products out of 4. So given this inspection, now let's try to add some more in your SQL. So given here, what you need to do, we have to check one more. What is that? That is P, quantity on hand, and this is less than 10. So here, double check the condition. Inventory is less than 10. So here, one is a new condition. Here, the other condition is old condition. And we are looking for the product that meets both conditions. So how can we logically combine these 2 conditions? Using AND. So let's run this, whether it works. Go, and then as we have expected, we have only 2 products given here. Okay, now let's talk about reporting data on products with code of 13Q2P2, 2232QTY, so 23114AA. So we are looking for 3 products with 3 different P code. So first, based on what we have learned, we can combine multiple conditions with AND or connections. So in this case, since we want to see all 3 products, we may want to combine 3 conditions, P code equals to 13Q2P2, or 2232QTY, or 23114AA. So let's start to build that SQL statement first. So again, let's open our Visual Studio Code, and let's try to type. And again, before you try to type SQL, it is good habit to look up your table one more time and get some ideas how to logically retrieve the information. So I will look at the database first. So here in the product, skim the product, and we may find 3 different code, 13Q2P2 here, second one, and 2232QTY. So here, and the last one is 23114AA, so 23114AA. So we found the 3 matching product code. So exactly what we have done manually here, what we did, P code column, we reference it, and we are trying to match this P code column value with 3 specific values. So now using SQL, let's try to make an expression that describe what we handle, how we did handle the database. So we look at databases, so select which table, product table. But in the syntax, it is from. So select something from product. What did we select? Actually, we want to see all the columns, so star. So as you can see, SQL is just a language that can be used to describe how we retrieve the information using the table. After then, what did we do? Actually, we look at the specific column. So which column did we see? P code. And we are trying to match exactly the same value. That is 13 Q2P2. So to save some time, let me just copy and paste. 13 Q2P2. Let's type it. And then we have another code. So let me just type this part. P code equals to. So let me type P code equals to here. One more, P code equals to here. So we have three conditions. What's the other P code? 2232QTY. So let me just type here second product code. And the third one is 23114AA. So let me type here. But now we have the three conditions. Let me change the line. So here we have three conditions, very similar conditions, but equal sign. Now you have to think about whether you want to combine all three, or you are trying to find some common conditions. In this case, we want to make a sum of all the three conditions. Therefore, instead of and, you want to use or to connect all these three conditions. So let me use some indentations so you can easily figure out what we are trying to do. So if you read this SQL statement one more time, you may figure out it's very helpful to look at the table before you make an SQL statements. Particularly later when we try to use multiple tables using join, sometimes it's a little bit difficult and challenging to directly type SQL without making a plan to retrieve the information. Now, if we have those kind of multiple conditions, or and connection is good. However, particularly in this example, very similar conditions have been used 3 times. And we are actually looking at 3 different values that are matched with one specific column, just the same column P code. In that case, there is another way we can do it, and this is with this keyword in. In how it works is we can say certain column is in the list of multiple values. So the first part will be same, select everything from product where, but the condition is again starting from P code, but instead of equal sign, because equal sign is exact match with one value, instead of using equal sign, we can just use in. Then in is followed with a list of values. So in that case, we use parentheses, and we can list up all 3 values separate by commas. So inside the parentheses, I will add all 3 product values again with a single quotation mark, but separated by comma. So by using this in expression, instead of this lengthy condition with 3 repetitive statements, we can make it a little bit more concise logical SQL statements. So let me just test both of them. So I will test the first example in the database. So go to SQL and let me paste and then click. So we have the 3 products, and these are matched with 3 different P codes because P codes are our primary key. And let's run the second statement that is with in. So let's go to SQL and let me paste it and click go. Again, you will get the same result. So in summary, using in, we can combine multiple values as a list, and you can make more concise statements. Similarly, we can use in this example as well. In this case, we want to report all products other than. Other than means we want to exclude certain products. Which product? These two products. So in that case, again, we may use multiple conditions. However, we can use not, but in this case, since we are excluding, we may use not in front of in. So not in certain list means we want to exclude all the products in that list from the whole product. So let's do with the actual statements. Okay, so right now we have 16 products, right? So here, very similar to in statements, but now let's start with select star from product. Let me change the line here. And in this case, if you use the condition where now P code is not certain code, WR3TT3. So let me write down that condition first. And the other condition is P code is not 54773-2T. So let me write down that condition as well here. In this case now, let me ask you, how can we combine? Do you want to add in a and or? In that case, this one is not, P code is not this. And at the same time, we want to exclude this P code as well. So in that case, it's not or, but you have to logically link these conditions with and, because we want to exclude both of them. Okay, so this time, let me just run this example first. So let's go back and SQL, and here, if you click go, out of 16 products, original 16 products, you can see only 14 products are shown, and we excluded 2 products. And again, using in, how we can do this is, let me just copy the first part, select star from product, but where condition is, it starts with column name P code, but we now add not in and then list. So inside this list, we want to add a product code that we want to exclude. So let's add to product code with comma as a separator. Then this is equivalent. So again, using not in, we could develop more concise SQL statements that we can exclude. So if you click go, you will get the same result, 14 products.